Hi, I'm Jody Lilly, and I'm here to do another Astro Goddess report for you today. I want to talk some more about Sagittarius season because the sun has been now in Sagittarius for about 2 weeks. It'll be there for another couple weeks until the winter solstice. And along with that, we have Venus newly into Sagittarius, and we have Mercury newly retrograde as of this past weekend in Sagittarius, sitting next to Saturn. And with all of this Sagittarius energy, we also had a Gemini full moon over the weekend, about the same time that Mercury was going retrograde. And Mercury rules Gemini, so it ruled that new moon, or that full moon rather. So what does all this mean? Well, it means that we have a lot of energy, personal energy, in the sign of truth and justice and laws and things like national parks, for instance, publishing, publishers, politicians, perhaps. Some people would say politicians, lawyers for sure. Sagittarius is very freedom-oriented, and it is a fire sign. It does not suffer fools, period. Sagittarius likes to get right down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on. They also love a good joke or a good story, and they often are the life of the party. And Sagittarius season is really party time. It's between Thanksgiving and the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. And this is the time when we do a lot of celebrating, and when we are kind of tying up what's happened during the year. You know, what's it all been about? We can philosophize. When the sun is in Sagittarius and some of these other planets are in Sagittarius, we can philosophize about what this all meant. We have some perspective. We sort of climbed a long way up the mountain, and we can look down or look back at what we've already been through, and we understand it better. And from there we can share it, and we can teach it, and we can broadcast it, and that becomes part of our culture, and the evolving culture, let's say. So it's very big picture. Sagittarius is a very big picture sign. It isn't interested in the details. It wants the broad picture. Just give me the main point, hit the main points, and I'm good with that. Sagittarius loves to tell stories and tell jokes, and they often have a wonderful sense of humor, and they can keep a crowded room of people going for all night sometimes with their crazy stories. They have a love of, if there's an exaggerator in the zodiac, it would be a Sagittarian, definitely. And they also love their freedom. You know, they're all about the great outdoors and the ability to move around and make their own decisions about how they're going to do things and why they're going to do it. And so there's all of that. So last weekend we had the Gemini full moon ruled by Mercury, which is also in Sagittarius and retrograde. And Mercury is sitting right next to Saturn, which I said in my last video as well. But Mercury and Saturn are doing this dance. Mercury wants to communicate and share what it knows and, express. And Saturn is like, why would you say that? You have to have reasons. You have to have structure. You have to have discipline. Like, don't say too much. Or it can also, it has to do with karma in the past, and how, what we may have said in the past that we maybe shouldn't have, or it can also be, I'm seeing right now people kind of being pulled up short, like people that have been rolling along, doing, you know, going about their business, and all of a sudden, boom, something happened, and they're kind of pulled up out of their normal thing. Let's not even talk about that. Mercury and Saturn are not the easiest. You know, Saturn wants things to be logical, and it wants things to be definite, and it wants them in all the little boxes, and Mercury is kind of dancing around here and there. Oh, we'll go here, we'll go there. So when Mercury meets up with Saturn, it can be like a big stop sign, or at least a slow down sign, and think about what you're saying, and think about what you're sharing, and you know, think about what this means to other people as well. And in Sagittarius, truth is a big, huge deal. How we tell it, and why we maybe shouldn't say some of the things, or why we must say what is in our heart to say. So we have all of that going on. And then Venus is also in Sagittarius. And Venus in Sagittarius, Venus is the goddess, right? The goddess of love. And in Sagittarius, she is a freedom lover. That's what she loves there. You know, she loves her freedom. She is her own woman. She is more adventurous, certainly more adventurous in terms of, you know, the world and other cultures and travel. And restriction does not work well for Venus in Sagittarius. So in our relationships, we may find that we're getting a little itchy, or we need to find ways to have more space for ourselves and our partners, and which doesn't mean that we can't be with them, but maybe just open it up a little bit, or a little more playtime, or a little more being a little more relaxed about things, rather than things having to be so specifically a certain way or not a certain way. So yeah, Venus in Sagittarius is a party girl also. Not in the sense of high heels and lipstick necessarily, but she likes to play, and she likes to exercise. She's athletic. She likes to exercise. She likes to hike. She's like, you know, kind of Amazonian. And she is playful. I already said that, but she's definitely playful. So Venus, in terms of our values, is valuing freedom and valuing our ability to, you know, move things around and look at them from different perspectives and have bigger ideas. You know, Venus in Sagittarius is very big idea oriented and philosophical. So you may find yourself getting a little more philosophical about things with Venus and Sag. And with Mercury retrograde and the moon having passed the full moon point, it is now waning. It waxes from the new moon to the full moon, and from the full moon back to the new moon, it wanes and becomes smaller. And so during the period of the moon waning and Mercury retrograde as well, we want to sort of take stock of what we have and let go of the things that are no longer serving us, and find uses for things that maybe we didn't quite know what to do with before. So this is a nice thing kind of at the end of the year to have Mercury go retrograde and the moon on the wane. It kind of speaks to this releasing of this entire year. You know, 2017 has been a wild one, and I don't know about you, but I'm kind of happy to see it over, ending. So, but let's see where the gems are and what really does have value, and how we can wipe the slate clean and complete some of the things that really didn't get handled properly previous to this. So that's what I have on that. And then the other thing that I realized the other day was that 2017 in Chinese astrology was the year of the Fire Rooster. And I just think this is so ironic given what's going on with all of these men being accused of bad rooster behavior. Roosters also are about waking people up. So we have been awakened during this. Hi, kitty. So we have been awakened to a lot of truths, maybe truths we really didn't even want to see during this year. Next year we go into the year of the Earth Dog, which sounds much more peaceful and practical and grounded, thank goodness. So anyway, thank you all for listening, and thank you for being here, and I wish you a grand and glorious and wonderful celebration of Sagittarius season, and bless you. Thank you.